What is the finest goal you have accomplished in your life thus far? Robert Ziebert.
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. What is my most accomplished goal that I've achieved? What have I done that would make me proud? I know that being a parent is one of the toughest challenges for all of us.
What is the finest goal you have accomplished in your life thus far? Art Hugo.
Thank you, Madam Topics Master, and should I say muggles and wizards. Welcome. You know, as I look back and think about the greatest goal I've accomplished, as a man, I tend to think about, oh, I made this amount of money, or I started this business and I ran it and made it successful. But to be honest with you, the greatest goal that I accomplished was the birth of my daughter 20 years ago in a few months.
What is the finest goal you have accomplished in your life thus far? John Sosa.
What is the finest goal that I've accomplished thus far? Well, I think I'm very lucky to say that I'm kind of a happiness guy myself. I've had quite a few things in my life that I'm very proud of. I joined the Marine Corps. I served 8 years in the United States Marine Corps. My son is a wonderful, wonderful boy. I just purchased my first house recently out in Upland, California. But of all the things that I've accomplished, I'd have to point back to my son.
What is the finest goal you have accomplished in your life thus far? Lance Webster.
Madam Table Topics Master, distinguished judges, guests, Toastmasters, I've accomplished a great deal in my life. I think, in a personal sense, the finest goal that I've accomplished is learning some of the key essential elements of being an effective human being, including being an effective speaker, of course. I'll tell you what they are. There are four. Commitment, integrity, communication, and love, which some people prefer to call passion.
What is the finest goal you have accomplished in your life thus far? Craig Wisdom.
Madam Toastmaster, the finest goal I have accomplished in my life is that my wife hasn't killed me yet. I'm married to a very feisty woman, and we have two very fine children. And I have to say that truly, all joking aside, my greatest achievement in my life has been the fact that I have such a great family.
Thank you all for your wonderful, wonderful table topics answers. And now I'm going to ask you a question or two. Robert, you are an architect. So tell us a little bit about what you do and what you've accomplished as an architect.
Well, as an architect, I'm proud of the fact that I work for LA Unified School District. So I've been involved with building schools for the past 15 years. And we've built a lot of schools, like $26 billion worth of school construction. And I've been involved in over $1 billion myself personally. Can you hear me? And it was amazing to have built so much in so little time. It was quite an achievement. It was very exciting that I was able to contribute to LA's school program.
Thank you, Robert. Art. Now, under your interests, you mentioned you liked young, wild women. So you're going to have to elaborate a little bit about that with us.
Well, it needs no explanation, really. But it reminds me, my daughter sometimes will say, Dad, how come you never got married yet? And I'll say, because when I was in Bozeman, Montana one time, I was with a young lady, and she went into the women's restroom, and she came out, and she said, there's a sign in there, and it says, make love, not war. Heck, do both, get married. So I decided to heed that little statement there.
John Sosa. So you have that musical name already. And I understand you are a musician and you've recorded 10 CDs. So let us know. Tell us about that.
Well, first of all, about the name. My name is John Philip Sosa. And as I mentioned before, I was in the Marine Corps, so believe me, they had their fun with that. I was the marching band private. Every time they wanted a parade, they called me up there. But I have been very lucky. I've made a few records. I guess I probably could have talked about that in my greatest goal, but still my son trumps the fact that we just finished a concert in Las Vegas where we opened up for Dick Dale, the famous surf guitar player, and Little Richard. So, I do have a day job. I work for the city, but you know what? I still get to go have my fun.
Lance, one of your occupations that you listed is a life coach. So, tell us about that.
A few years back, when I was in that gray area of late 50s, turning 60, I looked around this town and said, what is it that in this young person's town would increase in value and increase my worth as I get older? And I decided that it was wisdom or knowledge or experience. And I looked around and saw the profession of life coach and went to a convention of life coaches, one of their early conventions, and found that I knew as much about coaching as anybody. And I came back and made business cards, and I've been coaching for 14 years now, very successfully. Yeah.
And finally, we have Craig Wisdom. Craig. Now, what club do you belong to?
Sally Toastmasters.
And what have you learned most from being a member of that club?
I've really learned how much I need Toastmasters. No, truly, and I did mention this before to our club members, is that every member of the club is my mentor. Everyone is teaching me something. From the newest member to the oldest member, I'm learning something every meeting, and it's wonderful. And I really appreciated Toastmasters. I've said this before, some of you may have heard this, but I had a boss many years ago that said, you need to join Toastmasters. So I did join Toastmasters, and I thought I was really good, and I didn't need it anymore, and I found out I need it real bad. And I've learned that, especially since I've come back and joined this new club, Sally. Thank you.